always felt so awkward to me. The tiny little sliver at the top just feels weird. The Xbox One's revision, the One S on the other hand, this thing looks sleek, it looks modern, it's everything a redesign should be. Because not only does it look better, but it was upgraded under the hood as well with some 4K support. Now in terms of the high-end version of each console, the PS4 Pro. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of this purple arch design. I prefer it to the slim, but not too much. The Xbox One X, on the other hand, is like the Xbox One S. It looks lovely. The S has a bit more character with all those holes, but the X still looks really good. Now just you wait, because we can't possibly skip over the handhelds. The original Game Boy line got slimmer and better with the Game Boy Pocket and received a backlight with the Japanese exclusive Game Boy Light. I always considered the Game Boy Color to be its own system, but many consider it a half-step, and it's more of a hardware revision rather than a full-on sequel to the original Game Boy. Either way, it continued where the Game Boy Pocket left off, now with a color screen. The Game Boy Advance is what we call a full-blown sequel, and actually became playable with the release of the Game Boy Advance SP. A full backlight, clamshell design, and rechargeable battery make this the definitive Game Boy, with an even better backlight coming in a revised model. And then things got effing puny. The Game Boy Micro was a really cool take on the Game Boy Advance. The problem being, that's all it was. It could be the original Game Boy or Game Boy Color, as Game Boy Advance games. The PSP had a fair amount of releases, with the 1000 model being the first, and the 2000 and 3000 models both being upgrades, but having pros and cons to each. Some preferred the 2000 screen to the 3000 screen, for example. The PSP Go was a mistake. It was a purely digital console, ahead of its time definitely, but it just did not take off. At least it wasn't the E1000, which is just like the Wii Mini, stripping a ton of features including Wi-Fi. Thankfully, the PS Vita has a pretty decent redesign, with its second model featuring a slightly lesser screen, but with most features still intact. I've already talked about the DS line before, so I'll keep it brief. Oh no, amazing! Pretty good, but they got rid of the Game Boy Advance backwards compatibility, and almost all exclusive features of this console can be accessed on the 3DS, which played DS games, what's the point? Big. Now the 3DS. The original model had a lot of little design quirks. The bottom screen would leave a mark on the top screen, and a bunch of unnecessary switches and lights, and the glittery finish. All of this was fixed on the 3DS XL. While it was positioned as more of an alternative option to the regular 3DS, it fixed a lot of the little issues with it and made it a more solid system. However, I do have to say, the original 3DS XL feels a lot cheaper than the original 3DS. Oh no. The 2DS was a budget version of the 3DS, without the 3D or the clamshell design. There were millions of people who wanted to play one or two specific games on the 3DS, and that was about it. And the 2DS helped them do that for a crazy low price.
Meu emulador travou.
I know a lot of people actually find the 2DS more comfortable to hold, but not me, sadly. The new 3DS and new 3DS XL were hardware revisions of the original models, improving them both in almost every way, offering face tracking, 3D, more buttons, and a nipple. I've never been a huge fan of this C-stick here, but I'd rather have it than not at all. The regular new 3DS is beautiful. I love almost everything about this design. Plus, it has interchangeable faceplates. Oh, man, I really prefer the bigger screens of the new 3DS XL. It's a dreadful problem. The new 2DS XL, oh, that's not a joke. In reviews, a lot of people claimed this was the definitive 3DS. Did they even play this thing? Like, it's fine, it works, but I think too many people just made a big deal about top screen looking like a and saying, wow, this thing is great. It's not my favorite to play.